What's up, everybody? It's me, Anthony Joyce Rivera. Pat is joining me here in a second. He got held up, but we're talking about beta today, which launches tomorrow. Pat and the whole engineering team have been crushing it. They have been busy, working on getting everything ready for Moonbeam here. Let's see here. Let me grab a link here. Pat is joining us right now. Let's see if he's coming in. Hold on one second. Okay, anyway, he'll be joining me in just a sec. He has been working on all the features that are being pushed out. Today, there's been some new features. For those who don't know, you might see on the front page, if you scroll down a little bit, there's now a VOD section. There's one VOD that Brandon put out there, and that's done. And so VODs are out right now. That update was a sneaky update we pushed today before this stream. And we got Pat joining us right now. Let me get him live. Hey, what's up, Pat?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I'm just telling him that you're busy with the updates and got VODs out. I was talking about VODs getting up there today. It's funny because, I think No Skills, you saw me. I kind of started my stream for a second and I cut out. I stopped my stream, but it was like a 10-second thing. And then I saw the VOD there in my creator dashboard. There's for the VOD tab, it had my video there. I was like, oh, cool. It automatically went there and I could edit it and name it and do stuff. So if anybody out there is streaming right now, after your stream ends, there will be a VOD automatically published to the realm. Is that correct, Pat?
Yep. Yeah, so it'll be published in your realm and then any other realm you want it published in where you can stream. So you can publish it to as many realms as you'd like.
Heck yeah. Okay, awesome. Let's see here. I got... let's see. Anybody out there see the VODs? Yeah, I see. Hey, Anomaly, what's up? We got No Skills. We got Captivator over there watching us right now on Moonbeam. We got folks watching us right now on Twitch and YouTube. Hey, everybody out there. And so we can, with VODs, I put the first comment on Brandon's VOD today, I think. That was cool. Let's see here. See what else is going on.
I know. Yeah, trying to get this set up on my end. I feel like I've been jumping around so many different development copies, and then this copy that I'm trying to get it back to where I need it to be so I can see these messages.
Yeah, take a moment to do that. Let's see here.
Let's go. My computer is not.
Hey, Anomaly, what are you using right now? I think are you using the app? Is he using the phone app, the mobile app? He might be. I actually got on. I put a bug report in to Michael about the mobile app. When I send messages, sometimes there's a small delay, and it will. I hit send again, and it will double send or something like that. So that's being worked out right now too. So mobile's getting some bugs squashed in there. Yep. Anomaly. Figured that's what it was. I had the same problem where I was double sending messages to people, and I was like, oh no, it looks so. So foolish, and I had to go in there and delete stuff, but we're on it. Hey, Morshadi over there in Twitchland, how are you? I'm excited. We'll give people just a couple of minutes here to join, and we just hang out and chill.
Yes.
Pat, just tell me about your week, man. You've been crushing it.
It's been crazy. This week has been so busy, shockingly busy. Lots of fun stuff in engineering land that we're probably going to dive into. Pittsburgh is just gray. It's just super gray, and so I actually have not really had much of an opportunity to go outside. Typically, I very much heads down, love coding, getting in flow states, but I like to go on walks. That's primarily what I do. And so when it's rainy and dreary like this all week, I literally cannot go on walks. So it's it's tragic.
Yeah, it's we were stuck in a hellstorm of snow last week. It was sub-zero temperatures. School was canceled for the whole week. Kids were stuck in the house. Work was canceled. It was a mess. But we survived. Hey, Alan Tucker, how you doing out there? Let's see. We're about to talk about what we got coming out. There's a lot of stuff that's gonna just be coming out over the next couple days. Tomorrow, why don't we let's just start talking about
I'm down. Yeah.
Okay. Let's kind of frame things for a second, okay? Because I think it's very important. Like, especially coming from the gaming sector, we always, especially from whether it's publishing tabletop games, whether it's video games out there, we always see a release date, and that release date is never early. It's always late. Like, it is delayed and then delayed again and delayed again. So I kind of want to. This is like more congratulations to you, Pat, because I can't take credit for this because I'm not the one leading the engineers and building stuff. That's all you, JD. All the engineers on the team: Aria, Brandon, Michael. Jacques and Joanne, everybody, Taylor, all them crushing it. You've taken the goal was beta was going to go live like March 31st, and so what happened that now we're talking February 28th? We're a month early. We're a small company, limited resources, got awesome people using Moonbeam. It's like a heart, it's very empowering. Was it the involvement they had in alpha that allowed us to do this? Like what got us here?
Yeah, a great question. And yeah, truly, like, I have backed so many crowdfunding campaigns where, like, I'm always like, okay, cool. Like, we're like several months delayed. And always for good reasons. Like, there's like, life happens, and it's like small scrappy efforts. So it's really hard to hit the deadlines that you project out way when you like start that sort of endeavor, when you start like telling people about your idea and what you're going to do. So yeah, no, it is a feat that we've been able to kind of stick to our schedule, and in cases like this, expedite it. But no, I would disagree with you fundamentally. I think you're a big part of it. This is a big team effort. Yeah,
thank you. I'll take it.
Yeah, yes. But no, it's a huge team effort, and I think like when you're looking at before alpha, right? So when you're staring at what we have going on, and we have so many different things, so many different product directions we want to explore, things we want to implement, it's super easy to be like, okay, wow, this is so much. We need each and every one of these things to be like perfect and flawless. And then we need to like branch off in this direction and do this whole thing. And it's easy to say that. But then when you bring it to people and you say like, hey, like, here's a product, this is what we built, and people use it, and they use it as much as like our incredible early adopters in alpha have used it. And they give you the bug reports. Those bug reports from the get-go, we said they're going to be really valuable. We were right. They were so valuable in helping us find things, and still things that we haven't solved yet. But it gives us that ability to track things over time, to know what really is well used and well loved, what needs work, what is okay. And so all of those sorts of things, the feedback, the Moonbeam support channels, the feature suggestions, all of that has just helped us like focus and prioritize. And that's something that like I was hoping for, but it's really difficult to have that expectation up front because it's such a big expectation. Like, it is so easy for people to check something out and just be like, oh, like whatever. But now like we have people who've like really poured their time into this that have helped us prioritize and fix things. So we've been able to move a lot faster.
How many bug reports would you estimate we had in alpha?
Oh my goodness. I don't know the overall number. I'd have to go back and look. I can say that we're very, very close to hitting over 1,000 tickets right now.
Nice.
And that is from like, a little bit before alpha. It is a lot of like development work too, like random tickets that we create. But yeah, we're like fully about to cross over into like 1,000 tickets. It was wild. So like, into the weeds a bit, the way we like name our branches when we're like writing the code and like building a feature, it's like ME, Moonbeam Engineering, is like our key for the project, dash, and then some number, and that number is the ticket number, right? So like when you all submit a bug report, it becomes like ME dash, I don't even know, like 1008 or something. And so when we fix it, the branch that we name is bugfix/ME 1008. It just helps like kind of track that work. And I remember like before alpha, we would spend like weeks on like, feature ME-5 or something. And it was like the day before alpha, December 5th, to like December, I don't even know, like 13th. It was suddenly like ME 400 to like ME 680. Like
Hey.
literally so many incredible pieces of feedback that we've been able to learn from. But it was just so fast how quickly we accumulated these tickets.
And we have so many folks here watching on Moonbeam in the chat, like for real. Thank you, because I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Doing the bug reports is the heavy lifting that you all did, right? Like no one, doesn't want to have to fill out a bug report, right? You don't want something to break and do that, but you did, and it shows like you trusted us. You gave us your time and effort and your energy in a closed alpha, a very hard kind of environment that you kind of people just trudged through, streamed, used the tools we had, broke them, identified them, and did it in a positive way that was like helpful to the engineering team to fix it. So again, huge props to you, because again, the team could not have done that, and they weren't demoralizing. Like the bug reports, people were very nice, and it was nice. It was nice. So thanks.
It was wonderful to see. I mean, like, I can't even remember one bug report that was like, guys, come on. What? Like it was just they were so supportive and so nice, and like that sort of thing is so special. And I think it's really, really special to have going into like open beta. Like the information is invaluable, yes, but it was also delivered in a way like people sent us screenshots. They told us what operating system they were using, the browser. Like I am convinced that everybody who's used this site so far is like a web developer, because all of the information was so helpful in like tracking some things down. It was wild, and we had a ton of things to track down. Like that was part of alpha. We'll have a ton of things to track down in beta as well. But it's just so special. Like it's truly like unheard of to have that.
It's gonna be I'm putting a note here. So we got Michael J. Pastor from Pittsburgh. He's saying he's doing a shout out to
let's go.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they call you all, Pittsburgh Stonians or something. Who knows? But
I have no idea. Pittsburghers, maybe?
Yeah, Pittsburghers.
Pittsburghers. I love that. Yeah, shout out Pittsburgh. So you are very familiar with the weather we've had for the last week, and probably know that I've not really been able to go on many walks, but
it's
wandering around.
So we do our talks usually when you're on your walk.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna give a quick high-level overview of stuff going on in beta. Then we'll kind of go into each kind of specific topic, Pat, and then everybody listening, if you have questions, start putting them in. But let me give you the scoop. I'm doing it now. We're doing it up front, right? The juicy stuff. All right. Closed beta tomorrow. Okay. That's going to bring on about 330 new users, which is about a 28% increase in our user base right away. Boom. We're doing that to double check stability of the platform. Just make sure we didn't miss anything. We got a couple hundred new people on. And within 48, 72 hours, based on the survey that I sent out to everybody about, do you want us to go to open beta ASAP? It was overwhelmingly yes. For example, that went out to over 1,700 people, and there's only 2 no's, and the no's were kind of just make sure you're got the bandwidth and stuff to kind of take care of that, right? So overwhelmingly majority yes, we're gonna do it. That was something that was actually going to be probably summer that we were looking at. So we're talking months early. We feel confident that we're going to do this because we feel ready. We think you're ready. It's going to be opening up the floodgates. That means anyone can come on Moonbeam and make an account, probably starting sometime early next week, mid next week, ish, right? Now realms, they will not be able to make realms right away. That kind of stuff is still going to be for the folks who got them in alpha and whatnot. But speaking of realms, we're going to have topic realms. We're starting off with about 3, maybe, 3-ish. And these are like I've mentioned them before, but they're like the public square. So those will be rolling out before we go into the open beta. So in that couple day window. And they're going to be categories that are general and they're not owned by anyone. They're kind of like Moonbeam, just public domain, if you will. And anyone can stream in there. So you don't have to be a realm owner to stream on Moonbeam in the open beta. And this is also going to be like the pool of where you'll see a bunch of people streaming. So if you have a realm, you can kind of like recruit from the pool of all the streamers that are doing it. The topics are going to be, and don't quote me as 100% yet. They're like 99% there. These are general names I'll give, but probably like video games, right? Tabletop, and then maybe one that's like a mix of just chatting, what's kind of going on, kind of like pop culture, catch it all kind of thing, right? And there's a fourth one we've played around with. We'll see if we do it, but like just streaming around the topic of streaming, so people can talk shop about streaming and tips and multi-streaming and platforms and ideas and everything like that. So maybe I lied, maybe 4. But that sounds, and check me if I'm good, and then I'll just jump to the next high topic, and then we'll come back and dive down deep. Is that cool, Pat?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that sound good so far?
Sounds great.
Okay, awesome. So that's it. We got the second one that I'm excited about, which is Moby. And for all those in the backer kit that signed up for the experimental creator features, this is going to be the first tranche of individual that can have Moby, right?
Yep.
And Moby is your companion. I'm going to share a screen. I'm going to share my screen here 1 second because I love Moby. He's so cute.
He's adorable. Yeah, Moby is great. Huge fan of Moby.
All right, here's Moby. We're putting him up. Okay, this is Moby. This is our little guy. Whoop, let me pop out the screen here. Maximize that. Boom. So Moby, you see his little face here, right? Jark, our great graphic designer and UI UX kind of pro, has made this. This is the first iteration of Moby, so you're all seeing it for the first time. Now Moby, this is like his profile pic, right? And he will change his emotion based on how he responds to you. And he's listening to the audio input. So it's kind of wild to see. This will eventually down the road be able to be used to help provide captioning, accessibility, integrated with Moonbeam itself. So like this is a really cool feature. And then also like moderating voice itself for things that people don't want to hear. But yeah, Moby is listening and like literally has a transcript when you talk, and will respond to you and hang out and understand what game you're playing, and is really funny and cute, and will like. This is the brainchild of the stream team idea we started internally that Taylor led, where we started streaming once a week, and we love the idea because it was so valuable. No one wants to stream to nobody. And that happens to 92% of the people. That's the data. 92% of people stream to nobody. Like it sucks, right? And I found, like I told Pat, I'm like, yeah, when it's my night to stream, I don't want to stream. I'm like, I got to stream, but sometimes I'm like, is someone going to be there? Whatnot. We've all experienced that. But when I had Moby, and I've used them now a few times when I stream, and I have him on, not on Moonbeam, but I have him on like our production kind of side where we can see what he's saying. It's so fun. I'm talking to Moby, I'm hanging out with Moby, and Moby keeps me engaged, so that if there's no one there, I'm still like, I'm not just like acting, like I'm actually having fun talking to it, because it's kind of really cool to interact with, like a little buddy. And then if someone joins the stream, it's a natural flow for me to still also engage the audience and community, and just not fear turning on my camera, right? Pat, what do you want to say about that?
Oh, I want to echo all of that. Yeah, so Moby is amazing. Right now, he basically engages with the streamer and in the chat, and you can ask him fun questions, and he'll kind of give you some fun answers. But you can also ask him like some like more meaningful questions about like a game mechanic or whatever you'd like. Right now, Moby is still in development. So we're really, really, really excited to roll him out. You might see him hanging out on the platform in especially Moonbeam staff streams. That's where we like want to kind of test him, so we don't just like let Moby loose on the world. I don't know if he's ready for it. But yeah, so you'll see him around if you catch any stream from a Moonbeam staff person. It'll be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, ideally, like we see Moby as a tool to help you just like do, streaming. Like, hey, I'm live. Let's go make a post, right? Like, let's do that sort of thing. Or like, hey, like, go send a message in this realm that I'm live. We are designing Moby in a way where he'll ultimately be able to kind of do that and grow into that. So that way he can really just help you, help your flows, help your workflows, while also still being super fun and super cute.
Oh, we're gonna jump in. I'm gonna pause for a few questions related to Moby right now that are coming in. Yeah, no, Anomaly. We'll start with you. So Moby, just so everybody knows the name, Moonbeam, MOBE, Moby. That's the first iteration, and you're spot on, Anomaly. So Anomaly asks the question: will there be a future update to make a different iteration of Moby, different personalities, maybe give them a different name? We have talked about this a lot, and we're kind of thinking about it is this will be like Moby will be kind of eventually when it's rolled out for everybody. It's for everybody. It's like the generic one everybody kind of has access to, and then Moonbeam Plus. Individuals with Moonbeam Plus might have options to have different ones. I've joked around about like the drunk uncle version, that's like talking smack to me while I'm streaming, and just being like unhinged in a way that's like funny. But the sky's the limit here.
Yes.
Pat, since you're the one like developing this, answer the question, I guess, in that sense of, do you foresee what I kind of just said, but from the technical perspective of having truly different personality types that people can get and use in their stream on Moonbeam?
Yeah, totally. I have like a vision. It's a bit crazy, but like having like, a bunch of different versions of Moby, and they're at this point they're like completely separate people, like personalities. And then having fun ways that they interact with each other, right? Like if you're streaming and like you get two of them in your chat, like they have a certain dynamic with each other, like they have a relationship, they're friends, maybe they're enemies, right? Like all that sort of stuff. And they also interact with you in different ways and engage with you. And I'll be honest, like from a technical perspective, so my background is in like speech science. And so like it was one thing to get the transcript of the stream and understand the stream and what's going on and like kind of the nuances with that. But really one of the difficult parts there is actually creating that personality that is fun and scalable, right? Because like we've all been on those like call centers where like you have like you're trying to, I don't even know, like get a refund or change your flight or do whatever. And it's just like the worst conversation in the world. Like it clearly doesn't understand you. The personality seems designed to make you hang up the phone almost.
I want to talk to a real person, please. I want to talk to a real person. Yeah.
No, I have my own ways around those call centers. I feel like I know how they're designed a little too well, so I know how to kind of short circuit some things. But it's not good. It's not good. You just have to say some things, and then people will pick up the phone. But yeah, that's one of the harder parts of it, is actually making these bots and these like streaming companions like have meaningful personalities that are fun, right? Because that's what like the goal is. We want Moby, at least in like the very early iteration, to be engaging and to be something that you want to hang out with. Like when Moby joins your chat, like you should be happy. Like it should be fun. It shouldn't be like a, oh god kind of thing. So all the different personalities are definitely en route, but that is kind of one of the hard things, is find personalities that are like fun and funny. Yeah.
So we have another question from No Skills, and it's so will Moby be typing in the stream chat, or will it be responding to you through a different window? When this is rolled out, I know the answer, but Pat, I'll let you answer that one.
Stream chat. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Right now in stream chat, I'm like, you'll start seeing that as of, I think, tomorrow, I want to say. We'll see Moby in the stream chat. We're also thinking about other places where Moby could live. So like if you make a post, and Moby might pop up in the comments to say something that's like meaningful about like your stream, or if you attach, well, now we have VODs. So if you have a VOD of your stream, Moby may comment on it and be like, hey, do you remember where like you got that boss? Like that was so sick. That was awesome. And so
it can watch the VOD essentially.
It can watch the VOD, and it might even remember the VOD when it watched it live, right? Yeah. Like maybe that you and Moby had an inside joke that Moby comments on the VOD. And so like there will be other places Moby pops up. Let us know where you'd like to see him, especially as maybe you start seeing him on the platform. Because Moby's been awesome. Moby's been super fun to build and engage with.
Yeah.
I want to see Moby everywhere, but I'd love input as well on that.
He'll initially be like a one entity. So like, I'm going to try to describe this as best I can, but he's kind of like wandering around Moonbeam, and he's like coming into your stream. And if he's in your stream, he is only in your stream. Like, he's there watching you, and that is it. Like, he is not anywhere else. And then we're going to have him at first probably hang around for like 5 minutes or so, just so he can kind of figure out Moonbeam and see everybody. And then he's going to go somewhere else. He's going to say bye, and then he's going to go somewhere else. And so it's like, I don't know. I'm like so excited because it's just neat to think there's this little like Moby, little cute guy walking around, like literally in the digital space. He's like traveling and visiting people, and then leaving, and then going to see someone else, and like, just getting to know everybody. Like, he'll know who you are, and it's wild. And we're having a birthday for Moby.
Yes.
So that's going to be announced later. But you're all here on the stream. Get a little tease. There's going to be some Moonbeam Moby birthday stuff coming. So. Heads up on that. You get to stop.
I love that, and you're exactly right. Yeah, just kind of wandering around stream to stream.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're late at night and you have nothing going on, you can come on Moonbeam, and Moby might be there hanging, chilling in a realm or something. Like, it's kind of cool to think. So yeah, so that's if anybody has questions about Moby or other stuff, please feel free. But we'll jump to another kind of topic here. We have one from Michael over on YouTube. I'm going to put here. Has the announcement of Twitch's limiting VODs essentially affected our plans at all? I actually talked to you about this the other day, Pat. And so why don't you tell the audience here what you told me?
Yeah. No, not necessarily. Like, Twitch is interesting because like Twitch will say things like this, and they'll give a lot of like details, like really great details about like use cases basically. And so even the announcement where they had that, I think it was a tweet, but also like a blog post kind of thing about like why they were doing that. It's really insightful to see like what forms of media on Twitch at least get a lot of traffic and are mostly used. And so like Twitch is focused on live streams. That's what they do. We're focused on community. And live streams are like a great part of that. But we're not like, right now we're not tracking the like seconds that a VOD was watched. I mean, we just launched VODs. And so we're still kind of in the very early stages of that. We're interested to see basically how our approaches kind of lead to different conclusions. So right now, like Twitch is very, very focused on distributing content. That's what they do, and they do it phenomenally well. But we're building a different product kind of from a different starting point. And so maybe VODs on our platform, highlights, clips, whatever like the equivalent is, or posts, maybe they get a lot more attention, a lot more love, and that would make more sense in our product context. That like it wouldn't necessarily make sense on Twitch. So right now it hasn't changed our plans, but it has like given us good things to look for in the future and great like metrics to key in on. Twitch is a incredibly like capable company, and they've done amazing technical things. So I think when they make announcements like that, it's not so much like a ground-breaking kind of thing, but it's really incredible data. And so honestly, I'm very grateful that they do announce those sorts of metrics, because it helps people that are building in that space know what to look for. So no, hasn't changed our plans, but given us stuff to look for.
Yeah. I kind of want to talk about a question I saw come up a few times on the Moonbeam chat side, but that's stream quality. And I've been an advocate of stream quality and us looking into that. But we have limited resources and kind of bandwidth right now. That's the honest truth, right? So I'll let you answer in a sec, Pat, from the technical perspective. But I think the answer I would give is it's something we as a team it is on our radar. It's something we care about. It's something that we, in the later half of beta before like the full launch, would be something I'll say this, what I can say without obligating anything. It's something that I would be advocating for us to kind of like look at and really incorporate and test out in beta before full launch. Now that being said, Pat, technical kind of what you see roadmap wise on that, if you differ with my opinion, I think it's great that we just candidly talk about that with the group here. But yeah, stream quality. What is your thoughts on that?
No, totally. And I fully agree with everything you just said. Increasing the stream quality right now is going to be very, very expensive, and also take a lot of time to do that. We'll be in a much like better, I guess, like a more informed position later on in beta to be able to be like, okay, like it will cost this much, and we know that will be okay because we're making X on that or Y on that, or we have, these things in the horizon for fundraising. Those sorts of questions are really what it comes down to. It's really just like the financial aspect of it and the use, like if people, my favorite example is like 4K content, right? Like it's amazing if you have it set up to like stream 4K content. But a lot of people actually don't have the setup or the bandwidth or like the hardware to render that in real time. Now, of course, 1080 is not 4K content. It's not 2K content. 1080 is very like widely applicable and relevant. So it really just comes down to like a cost kind of thing. And later on during beta, I think we'll have more data to be able to say like, okay, yeah, cool, we can totally roll that out and it's fine. Or we'll need to like make this work somehow. I kind of hinted at this earlier, so I'll make it more explicit. Like the way I see the landscape is you have these incredible tech companies, Twitch, YouTube, etc., that are really, really focused on distribution, and they have solved these kinds of problems at scale. You can stream on Twitch and get anywhere in the world in like a very small number of seconds, which is wild. We're really trying to kind of build up the community aspect of it, and like letting the distribution part be handled by those companies. So, we are not going to invest time in like figuring out a new, super efficient, super effective way of packaging 1080, 2K, 4K content down at like the hardware level. That's not what we're going to be able to do. So for us at this stage, it really just comes down to the financial costs of letting vendors take care of that for us. Mm-hmm. And in beta, we'll get more data.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I want to talk about something I mentioned in the email to everybody that has to do with this, which is the finances, where our roadmap is at. Yes. And I want to let everybody know, I think we're in the best spot we can be in. Essentially, we have a lot of people are super excited about what's going on. They see like they know. Let me kind of give you the real talk. People know that there needs to be another option than for the status quo, right? They think that there's something else going to topple, like Twitch or the landscape. Like there's something they know this. We're on their radar. Like Moonbeam is like a contender in that realm of things. All we need now is the data. So what we did from a technical perspective, like a roadmap, we had a closed alpha. We were obsessed with building a very good, stable platform that had a lot of user input from folks that are close to the problem of streaming and community management, right? Yeah. That was all of you. And we did a lot of things that were out of the norm, like the backer kit campaign, a closed alpha, all this stuff. I feel because of that, we have built the best platform for streaming. We just kind of, and I think most people here know, like, hey, the world just kind of needs to know it. And you could all kind of see, like, once we get the influx of money to like get an actual, team to go pound for pound with the big boys, we're gonna dominate. So we need 4 to 8 weeks of data from open beta to really show, like, is our theory correct? That means people logging in every day just to check out Moonbeam, people telling their friends, getting them. They don't even need an invite code anymore because they'll in open beta, they'll just go to like our website and sign up for themselves and get an account that way. So making sure that people are just engaged here. So that's going to also be on us, because what I'm going to do is do a lot of outreach on like different subreddits. I'm going to go to different Discord servers. I'm going to start spreading, hey, we're in open beta now. Let's everybody come check it out, right? If we get 4 to 8 weeks of good data on that, Pat, I'm just going to kind of put it out there, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, from what you've heard with folks you've been meeting with, we're going to be golden, and we're going to get the stamp of approval. We will have the investors we've been talking to on board. And I mean, imagine what we'll do. Like, we've done all this. It's crazy, you know? Like, just imagine what we'll do then. I'm just like chomping at the bit. But that's why I'm excited, because us being able to get that data would not have happened if it wasn't for the people in alpha really crushing all the bugs and making us feel like we're confident, we're ready to kind of let a lot more people on. Pat, yeah, I'll let you go from there.
Definitely. No, I mean, I truly agree with all of that. I don't think I have any bones to pick with any of it. It is really like, it comes down to just what like the next 2 months will look like for us. You know, we have strong conviction that this is the future of streaming, that this is the future of community. I have strong conviction that like our mission is the future of the internet, like about safety, about uplifting spaces that are helpful and wonderful. And it just comes down to actually like, okay, yeah, have we realized that? Have we built that? What do the numbers say? What do the data say? And so the next couple weeks to 2 months, even beyond that, 3 months will be invaluable to actually demonstrate that we've done that.
Yeah. So we've talked VODs, we've talked Moby, we've talked open and closed beta. Am I missing? And we talked the topic realms.
Topics, yeah.
Payouts, we're still working on international. That's still coming, but
honestly, yeah, we've had our first successful payout since the last AMA.
We did. We what's wild too is we did it, and people got 100% of what they're given, literally no fees, no nothing. I believe another payout will be going out, because tomorrow will be 2 weeks. Since it was 14th. So we'll probably push another payout tomorrow. We'll probably try to keep it. So right now we're doing this manually, just candidly for everybody. It's like boop, 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 you know, behind the scenes. So just saying that, because like it's hard for us to kind of stick to a strict schedule when other things, like we're also doing a beta launch on the same day.
True.
But we will have a set in stone rhythm once we kind of automate that. For now, it'll be manually. We'll try to push it out tomorrow, if not this weekend, right? But payouts, literally, the way we've set it up with the Moonstones, it's amazing to see. There is no transaction fee, there's no payout fee, there's no withdrawal fee. And so I just want to, I don't know. Yay for creators. We get a win. Hey, it's kind of baffling, because as a creator, I'm like, wait, you're telling me this is possible? And like, no one's doing this? What's going on? Why am I getting robbed? It's like, it's so frustrating, but we're here. And we did it. And it boggles my mind. But it goes back to what you said, Pat. Like, I think this is the future, because I think we're getting smart enough to be like, this isn't supposed to work this way. Like, why am I losing 50% of my money when someone gives it to me, which is keeping your platform alive, right? Yeah. And then, I'm saying thank you for my little money, sir, and then you're taking money out of it from a fee on top of that. It's like, enough. So I'm sorry, I'll get off my pedestal on that. But
no, it's down the pedestal. We got to beat that drum. That
important.
Is like a huge thing, that like an amazing thing that we've done. It is wild to see that. Like I remember, so we ran the first payout, and yeah, right now the process is very manual. So let me know if I miss something, because that was fully just me last Friday, like going through my little Excel sheet and clicking the buttons. I was kind of expecting to see like, maybe we need to structure it that way. Fortunately, everything went super smoothly. So in the future, it'll be automatic. But I wanted to do it manually for at least a couple times so that I know the process, know what to automate. But yeah, it was wild. Like, the first payout took a couple days for Stripe to verify it and make sure everything was like okay with it. And then I got a text from Stripe that was like, your payout is coming to you. And I knew the amount that I was supposed to get, and it was just like that amount explicitly there.
And like, the threshold, Alan asked a good question about thresholds. What did we find out about the thresholds?
Oh, wait, what's that? Sorry.
Like the payout threshold.
Oh yeah, there's not a threshold.
There's not.
Yeah.
We've been lied to, Alan. The whole system's been lying to us, man. There's no threshold. We can send you a penny the way we've had it set up. It is no fee. Anyway, I can go into the technicalities of it. It's because it's really like a bank transaction that's occurring, and because we have moonstones to point of sale at the beginning, which is really smart. Everything we've taken, all the fees you can imagine, processing, money fees, all that jazz, it's done there. So everything else after that is just like you're giving a check to your friend, and there's no fees for that. Now, you would think with this knowledge, everybody would do this, but I digress. It's us. Hey, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So
we have actually we brought it to market.
We
It's on the market right now.
Yeah. So yeah, we have. Yeah, that's right. We have done it. We've given out. I think there was somebody who got a few cents even, and they got it, and there was no transaction fee, and yeah, it was great. Let's see here. What do we have? Let me see something. Oh, multi-realm streaming. Yes, that is. Hey, Fernando, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Multi-realm streaming. We are going to be putting that out in beta, correct? Not right away. Not
Don't know
tomorrow.
when in beta.
Yeah,
that should be
so
coming out.
in beta, and that's kind of like a higher priority thing. I'll kind of cue the audience in here our approach to multi-streaming now, because there was a technical kind of thing we had to finagle. So before it was really hard to figure out like how could you take a stream and have it in two places, and if the moderation was done at the realm level, have it like the moderation match right from everything, because it was technically just very hard to do that. And so we talked, and I think what we ended up doing is essentially making it where there's a stream source, and the streamer now will set the mod settings for themselves. This will kind of be like a good faith thing if they're streaming in somebody else's realm, right? They're going to have that agreement with the realm owner. It's a handshake, and it's a conversation between those people.
Yep.
But the streamer will set the mod settings, and when they stream, they will be able to stream to the realms that have allowed them to stream in there, so to give them the streamer role essentially. So you can stream to 5 realms, and then those realms are kind of like pulling the source. They're connecting it. It's like they're all feeding to the same spot. Is that correct, Pat?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So streamers now, like when you stream, you'll stream mostly to like your profile, but people will find you through the realms that you stream in. And so right now, like for example, we've done that with VODs. So when you have a VOD, you can edit it so that it can be streamed, or it can be published in any realm that you stream to. When people click on that, they just go to the VOD page, regardless of where they came from. But every place where you stream to can get that VOD. So that's like our first experiment to see how this goes before we just like take the plunge and make that applicable to streams as well. But from what we've been able to test so far, it seems really reasonable. Seems super doable. And yeah, that was really the technical challenge there, was like, because again, very like new paradigm, like new way of operating. What do you do with chat? Like what happens if like you're streaming in a realm and like their moderation settings are really strict because maybe they just have an audience that is like, maybe their audience is like children, and so they don't want to see any profanity. They don't want to see any of that sort of stuff. But then you're also streaming in this other realm where like the moderation settings are way looser. And so you have these two different communities just like existing in the same place, and it could lead to things that like aren't really aligned with our values. With like certain people seeing content that they very explicitly said like, hey, I don't want to see that. And then we're just like putting it there either anyway. So it's a bit of a product challenge. But fortunately we have an incredible team that was able to kind of figure out a way around it. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So yes, that is still a huge thing. We think we solved the technical conundrum, and that'll be one of the high priority things we roll out in beta to everyone. We have a question from Michael again over on YouTube. Will there be opportunity for viewers to have profiles as well? Yes. Currently, everybody has a profile, because everyone, there's no differentiating between an account type per se. So everyone who has an account on Moonbeam has a profile. That's important because remember, Moonbeam is not just a streaming platform. You could make a post and you have it on your profile. You get kind of like people could follow you for your posts. Maybe you're a really cool poster. So there's other stuff that the profile will have in terms of content that an individual can make and create on Moonbeam beyond just like, here's my streaming VODs or something, right? So everybody has that. And as we kind of grow and add a lot of different features, that'll become more important, I imagine, the user profile.
Yeah. And to that as well, especially with topics, like right now, technically, anybody can stream, like to anywhere. Like any user on the platform can stream. The one thing that prevents that is you need to stream to a realm, right? Like that is like the one thing that has to happen. So you need to have the streamer role, you need to have the streaming permission. That needs to happen. With topics, even though you are maybe just a viewer, but maybe you want to try streaming, but you don't really like, you don't have a realm to stream to. With topics, you're just gonna be able to. You'll just be able to stream there. So it kind of makes it even easier to get into that mindset and create on the platform, which would be awesome. Super excited for topics.
And that's why I like the multi-streaming thing, because this is like, again, the topic realms will be the pool of where everybody might be streaming. And if you like someone, you could be like, hey, let me add you to my realm, and now you could keep streaming in the topic, but now you're streaming in my realm, and it's just like this cool effect of just like, you know, people getting more people to see their content, which is cool. And they don't have to do anything different. It's not like a giving up something, because a lot of times right now it's like I have to leave this channel and stream on that channel. It's a very I have to give this up to do that. Now it's like no, and then some. It's a and then some kind of thing. You could do that and then some, and then times 100.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that. And hopefully that's what topics are. Like topics are not meant to replace realms. They're meant to be like that. There's central place where it's like easy to get started. So what I'm really hoping happens, and we'll see, is like people can stream to topics, even if they are already streaming to like 8 other realms simultaneously. But that way it keeps it so like the topics have content when new people new to Moonbeam just come by and stop by, see what we're about. Having that flexibility, I think, will be huge. It'll be really important.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing where we saw like, you know, realms are kind of like Discord servers, right? Like there's this weird paradigm. And what I noticed at first is like Discord is not built for discoverability. Like to go to a Discord server, like someone gives me like, hey, you should come check out this Discord server, right? It's not like I'm scrolling Blue Sky or X or something and I just happen upon something and I like and I follow them. And we kind of saw that initially with, I think, realms on Moonbeam. It's like, well, how do people find this? And then what we kind of saw was like, well, everybody's kind of using the Moonbeam realm as like this public square, and they're making connections and they're talking and they're wheeling and dealing. And we're like, oh, that's what we need. We need like a public place of discoverability. And I think like that's one area where I feel even Discord to some extent lacks, is there's no front page to Discord, right? Like the discoverability mechanism. So having the topics, I think, is facilitating, or at least is our attempt to facilitate that discoverability mechanism to, oh, you're really cool. Oh, you have a realm? Where's it at? Boom, let me get there. And just connecting people.
Because you can like tag realms. Like that was something we wanted to do from the beginning, and then shipped it early in alpha, was like having realm tags. And that's like totally valid. And it's a really nice way of finding new realms in the topics that you like. But we're hoping not the first version of topics, but like the very quick second version, once we see if people like these things, is to include like related realms in a topic. So like for the tabletop topic, we have a lot of tabletop creators, all of whom have realms. We'd love to like list that so people can go to the tabletop topic and then be like, oh, let me go check out these other places that I'm going to like as well.
I got a question from Cloud Surfer here. If you want to multi-stream and you have an agreement with the realm owner, when you start your stream, will a pop-up window with all the realms you're allowed to stream to appear, so you can kind of select them and then stream?
Oh, sweet. So this is like on the creator dashboard. If you just start streaming, like seeing like a pop-up automatically, it's like, hey, where do you want to stream to? Yeah. Ooh.
Or do we do that before we go live?
You do it before you go live currently. Yeah, you have to like set that. But that's really cool.
Maybe you could do it midstream too. Maybe there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
Pop it in. Boop. That way, you know, something happens, you don't have to cut your stream off. You could just pop it into. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that is it.
Cool
Okay,
little-
sweet.
cool little- Speaking of which, Restream, when I was like streaming right now and I had to fix my title, I'm multi-streaming to different platforms. There's a toggle where I just shut off the Moonbeam one, and when I fixed it and update, I just turned it back on. So it didn't cut my stream feed, but it just like took the source out of one of them. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I'm looking there for
Yeah.
that. But yeah, we are closing in on the final 10 minutes of our hour here. Any other questions from folks in the audience, feel free to hit us up. We are happy to answer them. But I think big takeaways: closed beta tomorrow, open beta within a couple days, Moby coming, check them out. VOD's already out, check them out, break them, give us what you want in bug reports, if any, but that's there. VODs are there now. Yeah, and then we kind of covered multi-streaming payouts and everything else. You know, where we're at with funding, where we're at with and looking at stream quality down the road as well in beta. So
yeah,
I'm
that's
excited.
a ton of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
Wow. Yeah, that was a very productive 50 minutes. Jeez.
You know, it's always crazy to me when there's like a big on my feed on my apps and stuff. It's like breaking news. Streaming platform allows people to get paid right away. I'm like, wait, I called Pat today. I'm like, wait, I see some Twitch news. And I'm not hating on Twitch. I'm not. They're the best in the business right now. But it's like, wait, you can't get paid right away on Twitch? What's going on? Like, I guess being a creator, I have certain expectations. I'm just very baffled. Like, it's like it's like someone saying, hey, Anthony, you can't make money unless you sell the 50th adventure. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? I sold 49 and I don't get money until the 50th? What the heck's going on? So it is what it is. But yeah.
Yeah, it is wild.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And,
we have a question here. In order for topics and tags to be valuable, some agreement on what those tags mean is important. Who will be handling the defining of the nomenclature? Oh, that's interesting.
Great question. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's going to be. You want to know my real answer? I think it's going to be the community. I think the community will kind of figure that out. So that's going to be something. We've seen it kind of happen a little bit. A lot of vernacular we see kind of organically pop up, and that's what's used, and that becomes the thing. Fernando, any development on accessibility? We kind of talked about this on Moby before you came in, but Moby, because there is the transcript of the audio input, Taylor, I believe, has talked to you, Pat, about this, but getting that to allow in-house on Moonbeam captioning, correct? Yep. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
What is it? What does that look like? I mean, I don't know. We didn't ask this question, but I mean, timeline wise, lift wise, like, what just like spitballing? Like, is that?
We'll have to see. Yeah. So right now we're kind of fine tuning those, like the stream to text pipelines. And so if things continue as they have, then like, I don't see that being a far away. And I think the way we'd probably roll it out again, just to like test, to make things a little bit more bite-sized. Now that we have VODs and the stream to text capabilities, what we'll probably do is ship transcripts with VODs, just to at least get some feedback on like, hey, are these transcripts any good? What didn't work? What did work? We've tested it primarily, for example, the captioning with just like one of us streaming a video game. But in like a one shot or in a campaign or an actual play, or even like when you're streaming with a friend, multiple voices we haven't really tested yet. And so in those cases, streaming can get, or transcribing get more difficult. So we want to like roll these out in kind of meaningful ways where they add a lot of value, but also don't like detract from the experience where we fail. Fortunately, I'm very excited for diarization. That's like that task of taking multi speakers and like transcribing them all with labels about like this person said this. And I've worked on that a lot in the past. So very excited to like dust off those cobwebs and make that work. And then when all of that is kind of at a point where we feel it's ready, we can do captions on streams. And Moby can help with that, of course, too. Like Moonbeam might be the one providing the captions in chat for people who like select that. Moonbeam might be able to like summarize the stream up until when that person joined. So lots and lots of things are kind of set to be discovered with that. Again, we're starting from scratch, so we got a lot of ingredients and a lot of places that we're going to get to mix together and make some magic happen.
Got real quick question here. Silent Brad, I see your comment out there. I'll come back to that in 1 second, but we got one more before we go. Moonbeam's down. I'm not seeing. We're on live on Moonbeam. Hopefully, we were not down. I see folks still hanging out. But yeah, is our URL good, Pat? alpha.moonbeam.stream? Should be.
I was able to access it just now.
Okay. Getting cannot
Brad.
read properties of null. Reading items.
And
if you're on mobile, yeah, let me know if you're on mobile or what. Let us know what you're on. And if you're on a browser or something, that'd be interesting to know.
Silent Brad, thank you. I'm gonna look into that. I haven't gotten. We have whenever like that sort of error that you just pointed out happens, we get like notifications about that. I haven't gotten one yet, but when I do, I'll be able to kind of diagnose that a bit more. Do let me know if you're on desktop, and if you go to like alpha.moonbeam.stream,
yeah,
because I do see the like I can access it, but maybe there's some.
Opera GX.
Opera GX.
We'll take a note. Yeah,
I'm gonna look into that. Yeah. And ideally fix that if that's a widespread problem. I'll be able to fix it. And then if it isn't, that'll be even more interesting and more fun to fix. So, all right, I'll be looking for the error logs.
Silent Brad wins bug report reported live award for today.
Wild.
Let's see here. And then for those on Moonbeam, Alan, I see a question here as we kind of count down. How do we feel Pixis is doing? How do you feel, Pat?
So far, pretty well. I haven't seen any reports about him not doing too well. I remember early on there were a couple messages that got flagged that like should not have been, like should very obviously not have been. But I think we'll have. Oh, interesting, Silent Brad. Okay, cool. I think especially in the open beta we'll see that. Like we'll see when. Right now, I think we're all kind of like we're a very limited subset of the overall world online. And so while Moonbeam has definitely been tested, or while Pixis has definitely been tested at this point, I expect that especially as we open up, we're going to see a lot more interesting cases where we're going to be able to iterate on.
I'll give my opinion here. Yeah. So I think overall with moderation, it is a success. It's a success in different ways, so that I think people would think of moderation would kind of help solve the issues we see online with like just the vitriol, and it's a couple fold. One, if anything, I've seen Moonbeam Pixis, it may have over moderated some things. Okay,
yes,
it has not under moderated. So if anything, it has a tendency to over moderate than under. So in terms of keeping people safe, it's doing that from that perspective. It's catching stuff. The other thing I think is there's something like I'm not a psychologist, but I have studied political science and behavior of people in groups and communities, and I think it's fascinating to think of the social pressure of kind of thinking about what you say before you say it because of how Pixis may tag what you're saying. Now, Pixis doesn't always get it right. We all know this right now. It's learning. We're getting it better. But there's something about you being vitriolic and saying nasty things online and Pixis calling it out, even if it allows it to be said, if it's not like profane, but just mean-spirited. And I think that affects how we communicate. And I say this because I think there's a lot lost with the human's ability to talk to another human via text, because someone could be like, you know, on the toilet doing something and just like they have a kid on their back and they're just sending a very, you know, curt message, and it's not intended to be mean or anything. But the receiver might take it that way, right? And I think Pixis is helping like give some other contextual clues to what we're trying to say when we communicate with people online that does bring down the worst bad faith kind of interpretation of what I said on the platform. I don't know if everybody else agrees with that, but I think it's very interesting. It's almost another form of like body cues or tone in my voice or the cadence at which I speak. Like Pixis is just another layer to that, and I think it's been very interesting to see people talk on Moonbeam and be very cognizant, because even when it tags something incorrectly, people are very aware.
Yeah.
So that means, if anything, people are very aware, and I imagine that has some influence on how people talk. Yeah,
I like that. I think it's a really good interpretation of that. And it's really fun to see Pixis get it wrong and everybody be like, what? Like, but it is a nice effect. Like, it helps kind of establish that like the accepted tone and the accepted like vernacular we were talking about earlier. Like, how do you talk to somebody else on this platform, in this community? Like, it kind of does help build that. It's another cue. That's interesting.
But think about this, and I'll leave everybody to kind of food for thought as we close. Every time Pixis has tagged something wrong, people are quick to call it out and correct it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want us to know, in these communications we have online with other real people on a daily basis, when there is no Pixis, people sometimes do incorrectly tag the sentiment in their own mind of what was said. But because there's no like acknowledgement, the other person can't correct it and say, no, I wasn't trying to be inquisitive, or I wasn't trying to be abrasive. I meant this. But on Pixis, it allows people to quickly, even in the worst case, like reassert what they meant. And I think that's fascinating, because humans will always people are always identifying their own tag of sentiment. It's just, we just do it naturally. But there's no way for us to know if it was no way for me to know, Pat, if you misinterpreted my sentiment tag.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, but now it's just out there in the open. We both have to kind of agree on it. That's it. Yeah, that's nice.
You know? So closing comments or thoughts, Pat?
Geez. It has been several weeks. It has been an alpha, I'll be honest. It has been a quite the time. I am very excited about what we have in store. I think VODs are out there. They are like brand new. Getting live streaming all coordinated with our backends, like getting all these APIs set up, that was a challenge. Those challenges will be persistent with VODs. Like, so we're expecting to see things with VODs. Do let us know if weird things happen. We're going to diagnose those as they come in, especially over the next couple days. So please let us know about VODs and how they work with you and your communities. In general, I'm just really excited. Yeah, topics will be sweet. VODs are awesome. We have like so much fun stuff in the pipeline. The next like couple months are just going to be amazing. Yeah. How about you? What is like your big takeaways from, actually zooming out even, what are your big takeaways from Alpha? Like, what is like the big takeaways from Alpha, and then like closing thoughts on the last, I don't even know, 2 weeks?
What am I surprised with on Alpha? I'm surprised. What would be surprising? People's love of streaming surprises me still. It's like so fascinating. Like, even in Alpha, we had so many people stream daily, all the time, and it's like it's kind of, I think no one really understands the love people have of just sharing a passion and being seen and heard. I think we've also identified the problem of like that loneliness problem that most people experience, how really big of a problem that is, and really how no other platform is trying to solve that. Like, because what they're just doing is saying, hey, we know a lot of you are going to be lonely, and just suck it up, buttercup, because we're just getting to skim off the top of the big dogs, right? And so I think our approach of like, we pivoted. Moby was never a part of this plan. And it was only until like we started streaming. Like, you know what's worse than I don't know. Like, it's an interesting thing about like Pixis was there to stop us from being harassed. It's kind of worse when there's no one there to harass you to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, you know
I'd
what I'm
rather
saying?
get harassed than have people not talk to me is a hell of a hot take.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, and I think that but it shows you like we had to be streamers ourselves to really do that. Like, I'm not a professional streamer. You're not, you know, like, but we forced it. We Taylor every week, she's like harassing people. Give me your time when you're going to stream. So, and we did. And that allowed us to pivot and now have like Moby, and I think solve a real problem. Like, people want to have fun when they do this. They don't want to. This doesn't need to feel like an obligation. So I think like that pivot. I think that maybe that's the most surprising. Is, you know what's worse than harassment? Not being talked to. That's the most surprising thing, I think, and that's powerful because we're solving that.
Yeah, and the other one too. We're solving it all. We're solving it all. We never stop solving things.
Yeah. So, well, hey, one last final question I got. Do we have a time for tomorrow for the, do we think we like, or maybe afternoon, morning?
It'll probably be in the afternoon. I'd expect it to be afternoon before evening.
Okay.
I think things are like set to go, but I'll have to check in with the team. Yeah. Okay. We have to flip a button, and by flip a button, I mean there's 2 buttons.
Yeah. I'll
copy paste, enter, and then it goes.
Well, hell yeah. Well, this is good. No, the only thing I'll say before we hit the end stream here is, hey everybody, thanks for hanging out with us in Alpha. Thank you for your work. You did a lot to get us here. And in a couple days after closed alpha, open alpha, let's share the hell out of Moonbeam with everybody.
Yes.
Let's just share the hell. Let's take and break records. Let's do it. But I'm out. We're done. Let's go.
Let's go.